Herzlich willkommen zum Blue Win Video Chat. Wir sind immer noch auf dem Gurten und es hat zwar angefangen zu regnen, aber wir haben hier etwas Sonniges bei uns, Katie Tusntall. Thank you to have you here.
No problem.
Have you ever played on a mountain before?
I have. I have played on a mountain. It was at Courchevel, the ski resort, for someone's birthday party. And it was very, very cold. And everyone was dressed up in cowboy, country and western outfits.
Oh, okay.
And I'm expecting that today will be a little more rocking.
Yeah, I think so. And you will not have snow or anything like that.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's good. How well do you know Switzerland?
Not very well. When we're touring, you always just come, do your gig, you stay for a few hours, and then you have to leave to go to the next thing. So I'd love to get to know it a bit better.
Do you have like a book and you say, wow, this place looks good, I might come back when I'm...
Well, one of our backing singers actually grew up in Lugano.
Yeah.
So she always says that we need to go there because she says it's really beautiful. So I'd be really up for visiting.
I think you went to festivals before you were an artist yourself.
I never did, actually.
You never did?
No, it was a pact I made with myself that to basically try and get myself somewhere as a musician. I said, right, I'm never going to go to a festival unless I can get a gig. And because I really want to go to festivals, it made me get myself gigs.
Oh, that's
so
that's
I did a couple of festivals before I had a record deal, and once I had the record deal, I was like, listen, I need to play festivals.
Yeah. And nowadays, do you mix with the crowd sometimes to watch other
definitely.
people?
Obviously, I'm more recognised in the UK than in Europe. So I was at Glastonbury Festival, and I bought this really cool. It's like a human tent. So basically, it's like made of this stuff that, like canvas or waterproof, and it just covers your whole body apart from here, and you just put some shades on, and no one knows it's you.
Ah, great.
Obviously, you look a bit silly if you wear that when it isn't raining.
Yeah.
But
so when you are at home, can you move without being recognized?
Yeah, just glasses, put my hair up, put a hat on, no one knows. And I take the bus and the underground, it's no problem.
And if someone recognizes you, is that a problem for you, or?
Not really. I mean, I definitely try hard to avoid putting myself in situations where it will feed that culture, because I don't know how people manage with kind of having, paparazzi outside your house and that kind of thing. I do not want that life. So it's actually I've learned that it's actually quite a choice, that you can definitely make that happen for yourself.
Yeah. You had your breakthrough at the Jules Holland show.
Yeah.
And you weren't even supposed to play there. Can you tell us about that?
Well, Nas, the rapper, he was due to play the Jules Holland show, and the single that he had at the time was with his father playing trumpet. And his father was ill that day, and so 24 hours before the show, the girls who go and scout for new acts had come and seen me play a couple of weeks before. So they called me and just said, do you want to come and do the show? And I was on tour with my friend's band. So I was like 200 miles north of London. So I had to jump on a train, go home, change my clothes, jump in the shower, go straight to the studio. And I'd never been on television before. My album wasn't out, and it was kind of so quick. I'm really glad. If I'd had a week to think about it, I would probably have been really nervous.
Yeah. Your performance was special because you used this pedal, which loops your sounds and stuff.
Exactly.
How did you come up with that?
Well, I'd been playing for 10 years, when I brought my record out, and so for a long time I'd been the girl with a guitar, and I'd had bands, but really, because I signed as a solo artist, my only option was to go out solo to start with, because I couldn't afford to pay a band. And I'd made this record, I'd made Eye to the Telescope, and it's quite a band sounding, there's a lot of bits and pieces on it. There's bass and drums, and so for me, a huge part of music is about the rhythm, and just the kind of essence of a lot of my songs is just about the kind of the joy and the rhythm. So I couldn't really face going out touring solo just with a guitar. It just made me feel like Phoebe from Friends singing Smelly Cat, you know. Because my first tour was coffee shops in Scotland. And I didn't want to be that. So I'd seen a couple of artists. One is a Canadian guy called Son of Dave, who's really, really good. And an American singer-songwriter called Jim White. And they used this loop pedal, but it was either their voice or the guitar. So I spoke to a friend of mine and said, how do we get both of the sounds into one pedal? And he showed me, and I drew a map of how it worked. And so every gig, I would be like looking at my diagram. And if I lost my diagram, then I wouldn't. After about a year, I was able to do it myself. But it was a breakthrough for me because it meant that I could immediately expel fears that I was just going to be a kind of depressing, suicidal sounding girl singing songs about being dumped by her boyfriend, So that was really good to get away from that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's nice. I read that you don't like formats like X Factor or American Idol, but actually your American breakthrough was because of American Idol.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was kind of a collection of things, like my song being used on Devil Wears Prada, and before the American Idol show Catherine McPhee used my song, I was probably playing to maybe 400 or 500 people in America. So it was going okay. I was on alternative radio, and it was a good start. But this just made it go very quickly, kind of onto another level. But I thought it was cool. Usually, singers on these shows will sing a really well-known cover, so that you sing Like a Virgin, and all the Madonna fans will vote for you. And I thought it was really cool. She sang a new song that no one knew. So I thought it was brave. Usually there's no personality allowed on a show like that,
That's great. And nowadays there is a lot like that in England and in the US. There's this Disney Hannah Montana thing, which actually is all, let's say, synthetic. It's not self-made like you do music.
Yeah.
What is that about? What are your feelings when you see that these guys top the charts or sell out all the stadiums?
Well, I think that I have no problem with different genres of music, and I think that music is specifically aimed at young kids, at people who really fancy getting on TV. And trying to get famous for 15 minutes or whatever, and so if it's good, if they're good songs that they're being written for them, like Kelly Clarkson's done really well. Carrie Underwood, I don't really know her music, but apparently she's obviously done very well as well. So there are a few, but I think what I feel really uncomfortable about is that it's adults making money and basically really, really deeply humiliating children on television and making money out of it. And as a TV show, if the kids know what they're in for, if they know that an adult is going to stand there and humiliate them nationally, and they're okay with that because they want to be on TV, then that's okay. I think it's what happens afterwards that I find really distasteful, where they're really flogged and they slave drive these kids, and the kids want to do it because they think, I'm a pop star now, and of course 6 months later they're not a pop star anymore, and the adults in charge of them have made a lot of money through them. So if it was just a TV show, it would be fine. I don't have a TV, so I wouldn't watch it anyway. But it's also because there's so much money in these TV companies that they have a lot more money actually than the record labels have. Yeah. So it means that all the avenues where original artists writing their own music can't get played on the radio, and they can't get the slots on TV, and they don't get the advertising space because the TV companies have bought it all, basically. So, and now you've got like little kids, and so many little kids, you ask them what they want to be when they're older, and they just say famous. Yeah. And they don't care why. And
they don't know. They don't want to be original artists anymore.
No, they just want to get on TV. And if there was a competition, if there was an X Factor or a Pop Idol where people were singing their own songs, I think that would be a healthier, or mixed their own songs with covers. Yeah. I think it would be a much healthier way of doing it.